Welcome, everyone. I'm excited for today's conversation on RevenueFlo Podcast, which topic is from leading 200 employees to building a family business, a veteran's journey from corporate America to franchise ownership. My guest is Trent Garrison, who is a 27-year corporate veteran. He's also a U.S. Army officer and the founder of Hole in the Wall of South Dallas, which is a franchise specializing in professional drywall repairs that takes the phrase, "we don't patch, we repair," very seriously. Trent has managed teams of 200 people. He's run a $200 million P&L for the largest lumber distributor in the country and walked away from all of it to build something personal with his wife, Susan. 4 months in, and they are already on a hockey stick trajectory. And he has some things to say about people, trades, and what it actually means to run a business that cares. Trent, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Cherita. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. I even had my hair done for you.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So let's start with your corporate exit. So you ran a $200 million P&L, managed 200 people, covered the entire state of Texas for the largest cabinet manufacturer, right, in the
That's
country.
mhm.
And then you walked away. So what actually happened that made you say enough?
Well, what became apparent to me, most likely it coincided with where my wife and I were in our life. Um, we had just recently become empty nesters. Our youngest one is a freshman at Texas State. And so after spending 27 years grinding it out in corporate America, I said, if ever there's a time for us to really take a leap, and upon years of constant encouragement from my wife that we really needed to be in business for ourselves, we made a very prayerful approach to investigating what options were available. And after several options kind of dead ended for us, really Hole in the Wall was the one that kept really representing itself. And the model for us services a niche market being connected to construction in one way or the other for the last 25 plus years. There seemed to be a lot of tangential connection between my experience and my wife also having been a realtor. There just seemed to be some real synergies between the business model and our desire to be in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves.
Right, right. So I know you stating for yourself, but not by yourself. So I know in our previous discussion you said you wanted to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself, which is what you
Correct.
just stated. And your logic behind that was because you know what you're good at and you know what you're not, right? So what was the path that led you specifically to Hole in the Wall, which is a franchise based out of Orlando?
Yes. So we had a good coach who presented several options. And one of the reasons why Hole in the Wall continued to surface as the option that might be the best fit for us was we had the opportunity to meet some of the other new owners. They've only been franchising for a year, actually a year this month. So we were very fresh in their franchise journey. In fact, we were the first ones in Texas. But having an opportunity to meet some of the previous owners, there seemed to be a real values alignment between them and us. And really, the capstone for us was meeting the founders. Bill and James are just excellent human beings. They're strong Christian men. The value system that they brought to Hole in the Wall and the way they execute the platform was 100% aligned, both with our values and with my experience as a sales and operations leader for 25 years. So that alignment married with my experience in the construction and distribution sector, it just more and more aligned with where we felt like we wanted to go. To be frank, there are a lot of great franchises out there. What I want to be clear on is I was not going to do anything that had French fries involved, and I was not going to do anything that required me to work every weekend and every holiday. That was not my mission in going into business for ourselves. I wanted a little more command of my schedule, and I wanted some freedom to do the things that I really enjoy. We have some ministries we're involved in. We also have some ministry opportunities that are outside our local church that I really wanted to be able to spend some time and invest some money into that I just simply I couldn't do it in a corporate environment. Um, so the freedom of owning your own business is not it's not as easy to come by as I had initially thought, but I do have the ability now that we seem to be getting our feet up under us. I have the ability to control my schedule, and if I need time to do certain things, I certainly can put that time aside. So um, it's been a little bit different than what I had imagined, but in many ways, it's been far better than I had imagined.
I bet it has. And organizations culture, as well as being the flexibility of you having to be able to move around your schedule, is what's most important. So,
Very much, very much.
yes. All right. So, hole in the walls philosophy is that you don't patch, you repair. And the three C's are cover, complete, and clean.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you walk me through what that looks like in practice from the moment you pull up to a job to the moment you leave?
Absolutely. It's kind of a pride point because it's very much ingrained in our DNA. The difference between a patch and a repair for us is pretty simple. There are companies and there are handymen out there who will come and they will close up a hole, and to some degree or another, they may do a pretty decent job of maybe texture matching, maybe they don't. And at best, maybe you get a spot paint, and sometimes more often than not, the paint doesn't exactly match. So you kind of see the repair where it was done. The big difference is we have expert drywallers on our team, level five drywallers and expert texture matching. And we highly recommend probably 70% of our jobs. We don't paint just the repair, we'll paint the entire wall from corner to corner. And our goal is to make that repair look like it never even happened. It completely
Nice.
disappears. But when we pull up on the job, the very first thing we do after orienting the team to the work that needs to be done is we go back to our van fully stocked and we begin to cover the floors from the point of entry, wherever we'll be going in and out, through the house, no matter where that is. And then we cover obviously anything and everything that could get dust or drywall mud on it. We complete the repair and then the painting. And then we actually clean ourselves all the way back out of the house. So we start where we ended. And as we back up, we vacuum, we sweep, and then we will actually mop the floors. And I think
Nice.
I shared in our first call, I've had some customers tell me that the place is cleaner when we leave than it was when we showed up.
That sounds like an extra charge.
It's part of the service.
I love it. So you mentioned on our previous call about rescue jobs where a homeowner hired a Craigslist guy, got a bad result and called you to fix it. How often does that actually happen, and what does it tell you about the state of the drywall repair industry?
It's actually pretty frequent. I would say
Oh, wow.
probably 20 to 25% of the jobs we do, we're coming in behind another contractor, in some cases, even a drywall repair company who simply did not do a great job. What we discovered is this part of the industry is so niche and it's so fragmented, and there are so many people who claim to be able to do this particular thing, and the opportunity for us isn't can we do the work. The opportunity for us isn't can we make it affordable, which is our goal. We want to be an affordable option. We want to be quick, so we want to be able to get there and get the work done for you and get out of your way. And there are a lot of people who say that they can do that. What we know is we want to be really good at drywall repair. I am not going to try to be good at things that we're not good at. We don't do a lot of framing. We don't do construction work. We certainly don't touch anything that is load bearing. I don't do electrical work other than maybe uninstall and reinstall a ceiling fan if needed. But we try to make sure that our lane is well defined and we stay within those left and right boundaries. And so that allows us not just to ensure that our technicians remain versed in the trade and the skill that they are practicing, because I'm not distracting them by trying to get them good at other stuff. But when I do tell a customer, don't worry, it's just drywall and we're going to make it okay. I can say that with a ton of confidence. And a brief story, I was at a customer's place this morning. We came in and did a rescue job, and it was in a very, very high-end condominium in downtown Dallas.
Hmm.
And the customer told me as I left, I was bringing him a part, just a little extra service, bringing him a part that he was having difficulty sourcing, didn't really have anything to do with what we were there to do. And as I left, he said, I just want to tell you that when you're not in this trade, you don't understand how bad a job really is until you have the privilege of seeing someone who knows what they're doing and they do it right. And he absolutely glowed over the crew that we had working there. No credit to me personally, but he named them by name, and
Awesome.
he said, I will never ever use anyone but you guys again. That's for us, and it wasn't a big job. We didn't make a ton of money on it, but I tell you, that's the intrinsic blessing that I get in being able to do this work because he was a little bit of an elderly gentleman and wasn't going to be able to do that work for himself without, taking some risks, falling off a ladder or something. And so being able to go in and take what had been a terrible 3.5 week long experience for him and get it right in a day and a half just thrilled him. And that just thrills me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So talking about your team,
Mhm.
when it comes to hiring, I know you said hiring is an art, and it's the hardest thing about running the business after managing a large corporate team.
Right.
What does the hiring challenge actually look like for a scaled trades business in 2026? And what surprised you most about hiring people who actually want to do this work?
Yeah, it's great. A little bit of a surprise for me, particularly. I don't think I fully appreciated all the groundwork that an HR team does to present, a director or a regional vice president with qualified candidates and kind of the grunt work they do to try to ferret out those who aren't going to be a good fit. And so when you're running your own business, and underpin this with business is about people. It's always been about people. It's always going to be about people, whether they're your employees or your customers or your coworkers. So people are the most important facet in the entire what's the word I'm looking for?
Organization or
Well,
structure?
organization, more of the
Structure?
recipe. If you're going to be successful, your recipe must include high quality people. You
That's
can't
true.
make a good final product if you're using subpar ingredients, right? So the number one and most
Yes,
important ingredient is going to be your people.
I like that.
We probably waded through more than 250 applicants in order to find five that we felt were worth having conversations with. And what I discovered is two things. One, I think I shared with you that was disappointing was there was a surprising number of people in the younger generation, my children's generation, in the early to late 20s, who just their goal was to be an influencer. They were really, they maybe graduated high school during COVID years, and so this whole virtual reality for them is much more of a reality than it is for old timers like me. Um,
And me.
you know, the other surprise that was quite pleasant was to find that there is a group of these young people out there who have said, maybe the college path isn't for me, and maybe that whatever degree, generic degree, or whatever degree I was going to get isn't going to get me where I want to go in life, and I want to do something that is going to give me the ability to build some skill sets and some marketable things that I can take with me, but B, I really want to do something that I can be proud of. I can see the results. And so I found a small faction within the group of young people fresh out of high school who really didn't have a skill per se, but they had a great attitude. They showed up for work early. They were willing to learn, very coachable. I've got an employee here that just the customers love her. Her fellow employees love her. She's learning so fast, and within a matter of months, will likely be leading her own crew,
Mhm.
simply because she has this desire to continue to improve. And so that was refreshing for me, honestly, with this younger generation. I'd kind of gotten down in the mouth about it,
Mhm.
just because of what we were seeing out there. And then she came along, and yes, I say she is not a common uh, uh, pronoun in the construction industry, but I will tell you, she has an artist touch and an artist eye, and she is very diligent about making sure her finished product looks fantastic. She's great with cleaning. She interacts well with the customers. I mean, she's just really, really doing exceptionally well, and that's been a very pleasant surprise. In fact, it's allowed me to be much more, um, probably much more open to looking for more people like that have those qualities,
Yeah.
to build future teams. Maybe I don't have to have somebody who starts out with tons of experience. Maybe we can teach them if they're coachable and they have the right culture fit, the right attitude, and they want to represent the business with the value systems that we represent.
I like that. And kudos to women.
I will tell you, the it just when I told my wife Susan that we were going to hire a female, a 20-year-old, by the way, 20-year-old female to come in and start working in the construction industry, um, she just looked at me and smiled. And she said, the interesting thing about the niche that we serve is you're not out on a job site with new construction going on. You're in somebody's home.
Hmm.
And that actually receives a very warm welcome when the surprise you see from a homeowner when they open the door and Marissa is there to greet them. Just the smile just cracks across their face, and by the time the job's done, she's got so many five-star Google reviews. I mean, the customers really just love her, and she does fantastic work.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah,
All right. So, you also shared with me an emotional story about a family whose adult son went through a difficult time and put his head through the wall, right? The host sat there reminding them of that painful moment every day until you came in and made it disappear.
that's right.
What does it feel like when a job means something beyond just a repair to you?
It's we get a surprising number of those. That one in particular struck me. We were able to go in and make that reminder of that very terrible incident go away. And I met with both the husband and wife, the homeowners of the young man, and we were able to just fellowship a little bit together. They shared their story with me, and to be able to make that happen for them and to walk away from that knowing that we helped somebody really speaks to the ministry that I feel like we have an opportunity to participate in here because we are in somebody's home. And it's not for some, we do rental houses where somebody's moving out. They really don't, it's not personal to them. They just want to make sure they get their deposit back.
Hmm.
For some people, they're selling a home and we come in and we're doing touch ups and we're getting it ready to put on the market. But for those special ones where there is a story that's behind that, um, it's to me that brings more fulfillment than doing a big rental job where there was a lot of damage and we were able to make it look great. And certainly you're proud of those, and we post those before and afters on social media. I don't tell the stories often, partly for privacy.
Right.
uh, but those are moments that I feel like the homeowners share with us because they want us to know that we're making a difference for them. We're doing something, and we're not. There's nothing sexy about what we do. It's just drywall and drywall mud, and when we leave, we're typically pretty dirty. But to be able to say, we impacted somebody or we helped somebody get past an event that was in some way or another traumatic, it's just special. It really is the ministry behind what we do.
It is. The impact is definitely most important in doing the job. I do agree.
Sure.
All right, so let's talk about growth vision. You mentioned your goal is 3 to 4 crews by the end of year one and
Correct.
7 by end of year 2.
Correct.
You want 500 million in top line revenue this year and 1.3 million by year 2. You are working to accomplish these goals by pioneering the Dallas market,
Mhm.
and you have bigger eyes on other surrounding areas in that space within the state. Based off your strategy, what does hole in the wall look like 5 years from now for you?
My mind, we what so since you and I talked, we have a couple of other franchise owners who have bought into the Dallas Metro, and my goal was never to own all of DFW. It's just the geography is just it's too hard to navigate, right?
Hmm.
My goal is to own Dallas proper and everything on the south side of Dallas. Hence, we are the South Dallas. Division of hole in the wall. But there's a lot of room for expansion southward. So, the $500,000 revenue goal this year, I think, is very much within reach. We just, as of this morning, started our second crew. So we're well on our way to having our third by the end of the year. Um, and year two, certainly, I think 1.2 might be a little low on the estimates, just based on what we're seeing now.
Hmm.
So year five, I think we reach a place where $2.5 to $3.5 million is going to be a good run rate for what we are doing. I think when you begin to get past that, you start looking at secondary, maybe tertiary locations, and you lose, I think, the ability to be close to the teams. Right? You've got two or three different locations. You're running warehouses in multiple cities. You've got crews and field managers and operations managers. So you get further and further away from the people who are actually doing the work. And
Hmm.
the truth is, that's where my heart is. I love being close to my crew. I love getting the reports from them at the end of the day to come in and tell me what went well, what didn't go well, how can I support you. And in the mornings, they come in with a smile on their face and they're excited to go to work. And we try to do the little things that matter. It's not, as long as you're paying them a fair wage and you pay them timely, generally most employees are pretty okay. But we make them fill out a sheet, the all about me sheet. And I want to know, what's your favorite candy? What's your favorite drink? If you were to get a gift card from somewhere, where would it be? What's your favorite restaurant? And we've got a snack basket. I'm looking over here because it sits to my left. You're right. A snack basket, and everybody in there knows which snacks are theirs because they're so very different. But it's what they prefer. It's what they enjoy. In the refrigerator, we keep drinks that they said are their favorites, and we do these little things. And I think when we get beyond that 2.5 to 3.5 million and we start talking about multiple locations, it's difficult to replicate that culture and that individualized attention. Not that we couldn't do it,
Hmm.
but that's very much what I was doing on a much bigger scale when I was in corporate America. And I don't want to turn this adventure into something that I walked away from 25 years ago, right? I love the intimacy and the ability to interact. When I can look at tech, and we had this not long ago, just something was off. I knew
Hmm.
something was off just because I know the individual. And the next day, um, they got here early. We sat down. They told me what was going on. Really didn't have anything to do with work, but they felt comfortable confiding in me. I was able to pray with them, encourage them, and they were in a much better place thereafter. I wasn't able to solve the problem, but I knew them well enough to know something was off, and they were comfortable enough to share with me what was going on, and that I very much appreciate.
Yes, I like that. I like the way that you're thinking about the company in regards to not making it too large to where you can't focus on your team and interact with your team. And I also love the fact that you're able to pray, because in corporate America, that's something you really can't do, there's so many different really, you have to think about the whole overall culture and where people come from and so forth. And to be able to do that when need be is awesome. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
if a big part of our decision moving forward was we had to be able to live out our culture. Now, you
Hmm.
don't have to be a Christian to be on my team.
Of
I want
course.
to be clear about that. But I let everyone know on day one that we are governed by Christian values, and that is dignity and respect for every individual. We want people to want to be at work. We want people to know the work they do matters. It's important to us. But more importantly, we want them to understand that they matter, not just the work they do. They as individuals matter. Uh,
Personally, yes.
Absolutely. And they're not just joining a company. They're not just putting on a hole in the wall shirt and driving a hole in the wall van. They've become part of a family, and we're going to treat them like family. And thank goodness they take that to heart, because they wander all up in my house is in the in the country, and our office is way back in the back part of the house, and they have no qualms running into the kitchen and opening the fridge and getting a whatever. I mean, this they truly treat it like home, and we trust them, and they trust us. And I think there's more to that kind of working relationship than just the dollars you pay.
So true. And the level of respect that you give to each
100%.
other.
And
Yep.
they know. They tell me, part of day one orientation is we talk about culture. Who are we and what are we? Of course, we vet a lot of that during the interview process. We make sure they understand where we're coming from so they can make a decision, right? Is this an organization I want to belong to? But we tell them up front, I'm never going to yell at you. I'm never going to talk down to you. You are worthy of dignity and respect simply because you are a human being. And I expect the same in return. It's okay if we disagree, and I may not be happy with whatever happens, but you never have to worry about me, losing my cool or coming after you. Doesn't mean I won't be angry, but I'm not going to treat you that way. And
Right.
I don't ever want you to treat yourself or anyone else, or heaven forbid our customers, that way, as difficult as things may be. And that's just foundational to who we are. And I have the ability as the business owner to manage my business that way. And there's nothing about our value system that is illegal, immoral, or otherwise socially questionable. So,
Mm.
so we're well within our bounds to treat each other with dignity and respect and for caring for one another.
Awesome. I love that. All right, so we're down to our last question, which will be around AI and the future of trades. So
Yeah.
you mentioned that you are seeing young people choose skills. I'm sorry. Um, Young people choose skilled trades specifically because they see AI as a threat to white collar careers, and they want to do something AI can never replace. What is your take on where AI fits in the home services world, and how are you thinking about using it to grow a hole in the wall?
Um, so AI is a huge discussion right now. More from my perspective where I sit, and I feel like a fairly early adopter for technology as it's developed. I mean, my generation's the one that developed all of it, right? Our generation.
Yeah.
So, my kids have never accused me of being the old man who can't figure out how to work an iPhone. But I also believe that there are things like drywall repair that AI will never replace. You may be able to use AI to run, a framing plant that can build walls, frame walls for houses, but somebody still actually has to put that stuff up. Somebody actually physically has to put drywall up. Somebody has to do the things that require skilled hands. But I do see an opportunity to use AI, particularly in the back office functions, in more of what I would consider to be corporate support roles. Search engine optimization, I think, is an important area. Marketing and customer acquisition certainly are fields where I think AI can help. Customer support, you hear it anymore everywhere you call. There's an AI receptionist that answers the phone, and you can interact with them. And I've actually talked to a couple that I was well into the conversation before I realized I wasn't talking to a human being. And so they're getting better and better with it. And those things are going to be cost savers for small business owners like us, especially. That's a huge deal. Every penny counts. Um, I feel like AI can help us with better understanding job costing. We can use AI to help analyze our books, our P&Ls, our balance sheets, cash flow statements, those things that make the world turn for small businesses. Um, and I also think AI could probably be a useful tool for training, particularly young people who don't have the skills. There are videos out there available now that you can watch that are largely AI generated that can teach you certain techniques. But at the end of the day, somebody has to execute that, right? Somebody has to physically learn how to do that stuff because that AI on the screen isn't going to be able to go and repair that lady's wall or paint that lady's wall or, repair or replace a ceiling that needs to be, a garage ceiling needs to be replaced. So I feel like there's definitely room, particularly for small business owners, to incorporate AI into how we run the business and how we analyze and how we improve and how we become more profitable. But we'll still be burning gas, and we're still going to be learning to be better every day, and we're still going to be required to be the skilled tradespeople that people expect us to be when Hole in the Wall shows up.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I agree with you. AI will definitely help businesses in the operational space,
Right.
um, for sure. All right. Well, that was our last question. So I want to thank you, Trent. This has been a great conversation. The way that you care about your team, your crew, that actually shows the kind of leadership that builds something that's going to last. And I believe that Hole in the Wall will be around for a long time. So thank you for your service, for one. Thank you for your honesty, and thank you for just sharing with me how you and your wife have built this business and worked with the Hole in the Wall team to make this just a success for you. I wish you much luck in the future, and thank you again for sharing with my audience.
Thank you for having me, Cherita. It's been a privilege.